And we're back here at Boom and Bust with my special guest, the Member of Parliament and Deputy Conservative Leader, Melissa Lantsman. Melissa, you've also focused some of your attention on national security issues as Deputy Leader. Canada seems to be an easy playground for foreign agents. I'd love to get your take on what's going on with that.
Well, look, I don't think you have to look much further than the streets of our major cities. News reports on an almost daily basis now. The government's slow rolling to call a terrorist and put them on the list so they can stop fundraising, gathering, organizing. Here we've seen a government ignore both, I think, foreign interference and the real threat of on national security to our country, because I think it's benefited them, and that's a tough pill to swallow for many Canadians that in their own neighborhoods are victims of this, are victims of intimidation, or are living in our own streets as fearful. We've had multiple arrests of father-son duos and others who have been charged with heinous crimes in other countries. Do that here, and I think that it's spilled over into the immigration crisis that we're having, with a lack of security and vetting on many of the people that want to call Canada home, and at the cost of those who come in here through the right way, who want to contribute to our economy and who want to live the Canadian dream. And we're in a dangerous place.
That's another issue that has kind of emerged over the summer months so far, that Canadians learned that the federal government over a period of years has basically erased the criminal records of a number of migrants to this country. And there are obviously huge national security implications for that. Is that something that you're focused on as well?
There are, and we're talking about really, really big numbers here. So more than 17,000 people have been let in with criminal records. The government hasn't been all that transparent on what kinds of crime that entails, whether it's something like a DUI or something much more serious, like torturing somebody in an ISIS video, which we have seen the government let in criminals. And this all speaks to the broken immigration system, one that affects, again, those who come in through the right channels, who want to contribute to our economy. It affects, certainly Canadians who are trying to access housing and healthcare. We promise people a life in Canada, the Canadian dream, the way that my parents came into this country 50 years ago this year, where they can work hard and they can get ahead and they can send their kids to school and they can work in their professions. And all of that has been erased by the massive influx of immigration, basically unchecked by the government. And of course, it's raised national security concerns, but it's raised all kinds of concerns in sectors of our economy. Of course, big businesses flooding the market with cheap temporary labor, another issue. All of these things are from 10 years of Liberals. So it's going to take a massive fix, but it doesn't look like the seventh immigration minister in 10 years seems to know what's going on in her department, or frankly has any intention of fixing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where I think most Canadians would say, we are a pro-immigration country, but it's a matter of scale. And you mentioned some of the economic issues about how do we pay for more healthcare? How do we pay for more housing? These kinds of things have not really been addressed, have they?
Well, no, of course not. And when we take in, the number has to be lowered. And I think there is a general consensus. There was a consensus in this country that we had the best system in the world, where if you came in here, you can afford a home, you can get a job, you can access the healthcare system. And having a system like that allows people to live that Canadian dream. And by contrast, the Liberal immigration sort of crisis that they've created has overwhelmed that housing and that job market, and it's not fair to people who come here. It's not fair to the international students who come here and register into some fake college where there is no prospects for them afterwards. You cannot promise people a dream when they come to this country and let them down, and that is entirely the fault of a system that has been destroyed by the Liberals over the last 10 years, because before that, we had the best system in the world.
Melissa, we're going to take another brief break. We'll be back with you after these messages.